name your team and give us a bit of reasoning behind each of your selections.
Well, opening up, we've got Alistair Cooke, who's obviously, the fair amount of runs that he's produced. I think 12,000 test runs. Did a little bit of research, 3,300s. And obviously England's leading all-time run scorers. I think he's someone that's easily locks himself in at the top of the order. The other one I got is open the batting with him is Hashim Amla, South African, 9,000 test runs with 2,700s. It's certainly a pretty amazing feat for him. And one person that I guess I admire as a former keeper in the longer format is Kumar Sangakkara. He scored again 12,000 runs and an amazing effort of scoring 3,800s. But I think the thing with him is he actually he kept for a lot of his career and still batted in the top 3 or 4. And someone who's he's obviously Sri Lankan, to the amount of time that he probably spent behind the stumps and then had to put the pads on straight away and could have easily been out there in the first couple of overs. To me, that's an amazing thing for him to do that for so long throughout his career. We've got Younis coming in at 4. A Pakistani, 10,000 first-class runs, 3,400s. Did it in all conditions. Someone that we certainly watch bat a lot in the UAE. He was someone that was always pretty hard to get out. He certainly scored plenty of runs against us. And probably one of my favourites coming in at 5 and also going to lead the team is the wonderful Brendon Mccullum. I think everyone will understand probably why he's my captain. Playing under him for a few years before he retired was pretty cool. The way he got everyone in behind him, and I think the love that we had for the game at that time was pretty cool. And I think some of the stuff we did under his leadership was pretty special as a group. And then number 6, we've got, this was a sort of a hard one. There were two Englishmen that I was thinking of. One's I've ended up going with Kevin Pietersen. Obviously an amazing talent, someone that could do it against all teams. He scored 23 test hundreds with 8,000 test runs with a Duke's ball, obviously playing over in the UK was obviously a pretty good effort too. So, and someone that could, I think, take the game away from you from ball one. And you look at some of the highlights that he has throughout his career, especially against the Aussies, is some pretty special knocks in there. Number 7, I've got MS Dhoni, Indian keeper, obviously a massive leader in any team that he has. So having his experience behind the stumps would be quite nice. And if we're going to play in those sort of conditions, having someone like him behind the stumps is a really important role. Being as you said, a keeper as well. I know what it's like, to keep in some of those conditions. He's one that's going to come in at 7. We've got a former New Zealand captain coming in at 8, and he's going to be one of my all-rounders. Is Dan Vettori. Obviously, an amazing bowler. The way he's able to change his pace and the way he did it for so long, but also he can wield the willow too. I think he scored 6 or 8 test hundreds, I think it was. And a great man to have in the group too. Number 9 is Mitchell Johnson, who I was fortunate enough to play in his last series over in Australia. And again, we've seen so many highlights of him. I think one of the Ashes in Australia is one that certainly sticks out to me. I guess his fierce when he had the old handlebars, terrorising the English. He was quite an intimidating guy running in at you with his sort of T-Rex arms and then sort of slingshot that he flew down there. So, and number 10 is probably this is someone I certainly struggled with throughout my time. I only played him a few times, but Morne Morkel.
Yep.
A big tall South African, probably one of the taller guys going around in international cricket. Just the way he was able to extract so much bounce from whatever surface, and he certainly had my number a lot of the time, and that's including one-day cricket too.
Mm.
And he's 309 Test wickets at an average of 27 is a pretty good effort.
Right.
And number 11, I know a lot of the guys look up to this guy, as Dale Steyn. 439 wickets at an average of 22 is a pretty unbelievable record. I only played him once in a series over in South Africa, and I think he actually got me out all 3 times. So he was one that would be on there. So that is my playing 11.
I was thinking, if you had to put Kumar Sangakkara and MS Dhoni in the same team, as you said, both quality wicket keepers too, what would you put Dhoni in there just as a specialist because you think he's a more capable keeper, or what was your decision there?
I think especially in those conditions, we were quite lucky. We've got 3 keeping options.
Yeah,
Bears probably won't like me saying this, but he's obviously a former keeper too. But yeah, I think say you're playing in subcontinent conditions. He was how quick he is behind the stumps is ridiculous. Being able to keep up to some of those guys, those spinners who bowl quite fast and with it turning and bouncing, and he's certainly unbelievable behind the stumps in those conditions. And you might come to some other conditions and you might throw it to Kumar Sangakkara. So there's options there.